floor, touch the wall, boom. Man, I can watch this video 1,000 times. So connected. This butterfly just looks beautiful, you know, it just, so good. Hello world, it's Coach Michael again, and here's the first part of 4 episodes about specific exercise. Today we're gonna go over ones that are related to butterfly. We are constantly trying to find more effective paths to train and maximize our results in the water. Certainly exercise on land help a lot. Interesting thing that I might notice, these exercises also could create a new memorization path for your muscles, and many athletes have experienced amazing improvement in their swim technique after exercising for as little as 4 to 8 weeks. So today we're going to go over set principle, training tips and equipment, exercise technique, and how to progress slowly to the more difficult exercise. We'll connect each exercise with butterfly stroke and see which muscles actually are activated during those exercises. And we're going to talk about, listen, you're not part of this video. You got to fly back to Casey, all right? Go, bye, no, please. You have to leave right now, man. What do you want? Bye. You got to go.
Amazing.
Many of us get captivated with actual exercise, but not necessarily the movement. We always should think of movement when we perform exercise and understand how it's related to your activity. And this is what the principle of specificity tells us, often referred to as specific adaptation to imposed demands. Say what? Hey, I'm gonna repeat for you, specific adaptation to imposed demands. You gotta know it, Wilson. Basically, your body will specifically adapt to the type of the training you placed on it. For example, if someone repeatedly lifts heavy weights, that person will produce higher levels of maximum strength. Conversely, if a person only repeatedly uses a smartphone or controller, that person will develop higher level of laziness and not much strength. My mama used to say, you reap what you sow. It's simple. Swimmer should not train like golfer. According to the principle of specificity, your training should reflect the desired result. Set principle must be applied to any training program. Remember, in the end, your result will reflect the level and quality of your training. Your body always will try to find ways how to avoid pain and stress. This is normal physiological thing. It will compromise movement quality. You know those tiny squats when we get a little tired. Body will try to conserve energy and seek more comfort way. Therefore, you have to be focused and not distracted during the exercise and tolerate last couple of reps, just like you tolerate 5 yards at the end, right at the finish line. When you work out, it's not a good time for conversation or thinking of something else. I see it all the time. So things like this, distracted athlete will get nothing out of those exercises because they perform poorly. There's a big potential also to get injury. We are going to use our body weight. We're going to use stability ball, resistance bands. I'm sure there are a lot of more type of equipment out there, but we are talking more about movements. So we're going to try to focus on less equipment, actually more movement. So butterfly stroke. Butterfly is one of the most biomechanically challenging strokes, and it requires tremendous foundational strength. This complexity of high energy demand and sophisticated movements increase this probability of developing poor technique. If specific strength and proper movements aren't developed, you know, things could get rough. So let's look at the exercises. First, we're going to look at the static core. There are two types of core training that should be addressed, static and dynamic. We start with the simple one, which is a plank exercise. All plank has one most important thing, is rigid body position. Your hips and the spine line has to be in line. If you could see on the top, there's a demonstration how, you know, there's a big possibility to drop hips down, so you got to maintain your hips straight. There's also important muscle stabilizers in your shoulder blades. So to intensify, we're moving into plank with opposite leg and arm lift. As you could see, it is challenging. The next variety is plank into rotation. You could add push-up in it, but the same principle, we're trying to hold perfect straight line. And then reverse plank. Reverse plank has to have much stronger support from lumbo-pelvic hip complex. And now we're going into dynamic core. Dynamic core is really important too, because in butterfly stroke, there's a dynamic movement, the undulation movement. And those movements have to have really powerful or whipping kind of I'm trying to define it right, nice whip. The next variety is pike up with plates. One of the great tools to find at home, just regular plates and some kind of a surface where plates will be able to slide. You could go into pike up and then to plank, or pike up into up dog. And then using the stability ball, that's I think the greatest challenge in one of the dynamic core exercises for butterfly. And it's so similar to actually some of the movements of the stroke. Another variety is V-up. You could do a leg touch, or you could do just a transfer ball between your feet and your hands. Now we're moving into a upper body exercise, shoulder abduction, prone on the floor, and we're going to progress to more unstable environment with the stability ball. There's also variety of this exercise. This is more safe way to do it. Prone shoulder press, as you could see, there's a lot of stabilizers that work. Now the next one on stability ball, this becomes more challenging as you place yourself in not stable environment, so your core muscles throughout the line are very important here. They support your body line. And one of the best exercises for shoulder functional training is different angles for shoulder raise, where you're gonna go up, lateral, down, and then you will do a shoulder hyperextension, which kind of adds a little bit of more lats movement in there, and also triceps. Cobra push-up, this is a strength exercise. There's lots of muscles that are activated, and the prime mover is a chest muscle, but we know in butterfly there's a lot of undulation, and this exercise is kind of simulates a certain movement. High elbow curl, we all know we'd rather pull rather than press on the water. So this actually exercise is so important to build high elbow and to be able to work on catch. And this is isolated pull down. The prime mover is the latissimus dorsi muscle. In this position, when you're laying down, you kind of isolate yourself, so you do activate only those specific muscles. Pull down with acceleration, leaning forward. This is more of as you can see, there's more of a hyperextension, which is more similar to butterfly. On the floor you wouldn't be able to do that. And another great exercise with the body bar is to actually work on that acceleration, the last part of the stroke, where you engage lats and triceps and your posterior deltoid. There's another variety with the body bar to work on that catch. I like this exercise because you could keep your elbow steady and then just curl inside. Let's look into next exercise. Now we're gonna look at the lower body. So one of the good exercise, but you're gonna need to put cushion under, is the dolphin kick style, but the surface has to be soft enough so you wouldn't injure yourself. This is another variety where you go from a dolphin kick into a streamlined jump. I love this exercise. It's actually super helpful, and it's kind of like a total body exercise, very functional. This is another variety where you challenge your stability again. You practice dolphin kicks on the stability ball. So not only your leg extension is involved here, but there's a hip movement and a lot of abdominal muscles that stabilize that position. Bulgarian squat, this is great exercise because your hip flexors are involved, and there's more stress on your glutes. And the last exercise is hip bridge. I purposely used mini band to activate more glutes. It's also very essential exercise for butterfly stroke. This exercise could be primary or complementary exercise to your routine that you've been following. There will be another video about my IMOL training method. I think this is one of the ways to structure the exercises routine. But remember, if you do follow the exercise routine, always consult with your trainer or coach on how to add these new types of exercise into your routine. It's really important. If you like the video, please support the channel, click thumb up and subscribe. I will see you in the next episode. Bye.